A coffee pot explodes against the wall as gunfire tears through the pre-dawn silence. Glass rains down on the hardwood floor of Desert Grounds Coffee, mixing with shell casings and spilled espresso. Behind an overturned table, David Grant's hand finds the familiar grip of his concealed Glock. 3 cartel gunmen advance through the front door, their shadows stretching across bullet-riddled walls. They think they're hunting prey. They don't realize they've walked into a trap. David's muscles coil, combat instincts flooding back like muscle memory. The first gunman steps past his position. In one fluid motion, David sweeps the man's legs while simultaneously disarming him, the rifle clattering across the floor. Before the others can react, he's already moving, a ghost in the shadows of his own shop. "Find him! El Tiburon wants his head." The cartel lieutenant's voice cracks with desperation. They've already lost 3 men to the coffee shop owner's lethal efficiency. The 2 remaining gunmen split up, barrels sweeping the darkness. David slides behind the counter, every movement silent. His fingers brush against the metal canister hidden beneath the register. Not a weapon, just a simple can of ground coffee. But in the hands of a Navy SEAL, anything becomes a weapon. The closest gunman never sees it coming. David launches the canister with deadly accuracy, striking the man's temple. As he stumbles, David closes the distance, executing a perfect arm bar that ends with a sickening crack. 1 left. Bullets punch through the espresso machine, releasing a scalding spray of steam. David rolls right, coming up with his attacker's dropped rifle. The lieutenant realizes his mistake too late. He's silhouetted in the doorway, an easy target against the rising sun. Last chance. David's voice carries the calm certainty of a man who's faced death before. "Tell El Tiburon this territory is off limit, or we can finish this the hard way." The lieutenant's answer comes in the form of wild gunfire. David moves like water, flowing between cover as rounds shred his shop. 15 years of brewing coffee haven't dulled his edge. If anything, they've made him more precise, more patient. Glass shatters overhead as the lieutenant's backup arrives. 2 black SUVs screech to a halt outside, disgorging more gunmen. David allows himself a grim smile. More targets just mean more opportunities. He reaches under the counter again, retrieving a small remote detonator. The cartel thugs don't notice. The military-grade flashbangs he'd wired throughout the shop after their first visit. Their mistake. The world goes white. When vision returns seconds later, David is already among them. A devastating combination of CQC and improvised weapons. A coffee grinder becomes a makeshift brass knuckles. A steam wand transforms into a precise pressure point weapon. Every movement efficient, practiced, lethal. Bodies hit the floor in rapid succession. The lieutenant backpedals, fumbling with his radio. He's not human. He's not. The transmission cuts off as David's boot connects with his jaw. Silence falls over the ruined coffee shop. Dawn paints the desert sky blood red as David surveys the aftermath. 8 cartel gunmen lie unconscious or groaning. The message is clear. Desert Grounds isn't just a coffee shop. It's a fortress, and its defender is a man El Tiburon gravely underestimated. David pulls out his phone, dialing with steady fingers. "Mark? Yeah, we're going to need a cleanup crew. And tell Ellen to keep her daughter home today. Things just got complicated." He walks to the window, watching the sun climb higher. After 15 years of peace, the warrior inside him has awakened. The cartel wanted to make an example of a simple coffee shop owner. Instead, they've stirred a hornet's nest. A police siren wails in the distance. David begins methodically collecting shell casings, falling back into his routine. But his movements have changed. No longer those of a barista, but a predator preparing for war. The cartel will be back, and next time they'll bring an army. Good, let them come. Because what they don't understand is that David Grant didn't leave the SEALs to escape violence. He left to find something worth protecting. And now that he's found it, heaven help anyone who threatens his home. The morning light streams through bullet holes in the walls, creating patterns across the floor like target markers. David allows himself a small smile as he flips the sign from closed to open. Time to brew some coffee. The morning rush will be here soon, and his customers prefer their espresso without blood on the floor. 2 nights before the firefight, Desert Grounds breathes with pre-dawn quiet. David Grant moves through his morning ritual with military precision, each motion economical and practiced. Coffee beans cascade into the grinder, the sound like distant gunfire. His scarred hands pause for a fraction of a second, old instincts dying hard. The shop door opens 10 minutes early. Mark West, 25, and already carrying too many ghosts behind his eyes, nods a silent greeting. He heads straight for the broken espresso machine, tools appearing from his battered backpack. Third time this month, Mark's voice carries the rough edge of someone who learned mechanics in prison rather than trade school. Someone's been messing with the pressure valve when we're closed. David watches his young employee work, noting the way Mark's hands never shake despite the fatigue evident in his face. You noticed the black SUV last night? Hard to miss. Same one that's been circling the block all week. Mark's fingers dance across the machine's internals. They're getting bolder. The bell chimes again. Ellen Brooks strides in, phone pressed to her ear. "No, baby, you can't skip school today. I don't care if Tommy Martinez said, because I said so. Love you too." She pockets the phone, exhaustion and determination warring on her face. Coffee's already brewing. David slides her usual across the counter. Dark roast, 2 sugars. His movement catches the morning light, revealing a faded trident tattoo on his forearm. Ellen's eyes dart to the tattoo, then to the SEAL team photo on the wall. She's never asked about either. Smart woman. "Thanks. Any more trouble last night?" "Nothing. We can't handle." David's tone suggests otherwise. He moves to the window, scanning the street with practiced efficiency. A black SUV idles at the corner, windows tinted dark enough to be illegal. Mark curses as the espresso machine hisses. Someone definitely tampered with this. Professional job too. Wasn't just vandalism. David's jaw tightens imperceptibly. On the wall, his younger self stares out from the team photo, surrounded by men who understood the weight of necessary violence. The morning rush begins. David works with fluid grace, every movement precise. Customers notice little things, how he always faces the door, how his eyes track everyone who enters, how he tenses slightly when someone reaches into a jacket. Old habits. Ellen manages the register, while Mark keeps the machines running. They move like a well-oiled unit, each covering the other's blind spots without conscious thought. David's trained them well, though they don't realize it. Mid-morning, a man in an expensive suit enters. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. "Quite an operation you have here, Mr. Grant." Coffee's on the board. "Anything else?" "You're in the wrong place." David's voice carries the quiet authority of someone used to being obeyed. The man's smile widens. "El Tiburon merely wishes to discuss a business opportunity. This location has strategic value. Not interested." David turns away, dismissing the threat with practiced indifference. "Everyone's interested in something, Mr. Grant. For some, it's money. For others..." The man glances meaningfully at Ellen, then at the photo of her daughter on the register. David goes very still, the kind of stillness that precedes violence. "Leave." The man spreads his hands in mock surrender. "Think about it. We'll be in touch." He exits, climbing into the waiting SUV. Ellen's hands shake slightly as she counts change. Mark's knuckles whiten around his wrench. David watches the SUV disappear, memorizing plates, faces, details. The warrior inside him stirs. The day progresses. More subtle warnings arrive. A delivery truck blocks their parking lot for hours. A health inspector appears without warning, finding suspicious violations. 3 teenagers loiter outside, photographing customers. Evening approaches. David sends Ellen home early, watching, until her car disappears safely around the corner. Mark lingers, pretending to clean already spotless machines. "They won't stop," Mark says finally. "I've seen how these guys operate. They'll keep pushing until..." "I know." David begins his closing routine, each movement still precise, despite the weight settling onto his shoulders. "You have somewhere safe to stay?" Mark nods. "Got a cousin's place, off the grid." "Good. Take tomorrow off, both of you." David's tone leaves no room for argument. After Mark leaves, David descends to the basement. Behind a false wall, a metal footlocker waits. He hasn't opened it in 15 years. Inside, ghosts of his former life rest in orderly rows. Tactical gear, weapons, the tools of his old trade. His phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. "Final warning. Midnight. Be smart." David closes the locker, but doesn't lock it. Upstairs, he begins preparing for tomorrow's opening. Movements unchanged, but his eyes have shifted, carrying the focused calculation of a predator assessing its hunting ground. The sun sets over the Arizona desert. David Grant, barista and former SEAL, continues his routine. But beneath the quiet exterior, plans unfold. They think they're dealing with a simple coffee shop owner. Their mistake. Soon, they'll learn what his old team knew. The most dangerous predators are the ones that look like prey. Night falls. In the darkness, David's phone buzzes again. No message this time, just a photo. Ellen's daughter at school, Mark's apartment building, the coffee shop's gas main. David sets down his phone. 15 years of peace crumble like coffee grounds through his fingers. He thought he'd left the violence behind. But sometimes the past finds you, and sometimes it requires an answer written in blood. He begins transforming his shop into a fortress, hiding weapons and traps with the same precision he uses to craft perfect espresso. Tomorrow will bring violence, but for tonight, he allows himself one last moment of peace. Watching the desert stars through bulletproof windows, the warrior awakens. And God help anyone who threatens his people. And before we continue, please like and sub and comment where you're watching from. We would love to hear from you. Midnight oil burns in desert grounds as David methodically wipes down counters, his movements betraying none of the tension coiling beneath the surface. The security cameras feed displays on his phone, 4 black SUVs circling the block like vultures, getting bolder with each pass. Through the window, graffiti gleams fresh and wet on the building across the street. Tiempo se acabó. Time's up. Mark hunches over the espresso machine, his usual mechanical precision replaced by nervous energy. David, those cars have passed by 6 times in the last hour. They're not even trying to be subtle anymore. His hands unconsciously trace the outline of the wrench in his back pocket, a makeshift weapon that won't mean much against what's coming. Ellen paces near the register, phone clutched tight. Maria's at my sister's place. They couldn't know where? Her voice cracks, the weight of single motherhood suddenly heavier under Cartel shadows. David's response dies in his throat as the security feed blacks out. Streetlights cascade into darkness down the block, a coordinated blackout. Professional work. Through the windows, engine sounds fade to silence. The vultures have landed. Basement. Now. David's voice carries the quiet authority of countless combat operations. The panic room we installed last month. 10 minutes. No matter what you hear, don't come out until I signal. He pulls a small radio from under the counter, tossing it to Mark. 3 clicks means it's me. Anything else? You. Keep that door locked. Ellen starts to protest, but Mark gently guides her toward the basement door. He's seen enough violence to recognize its prelude. What about you? David's answer is cut short by the first Molotov cocktail crashing through the front window. Flames erupt across the hardwood floor as more bottles follow, a calculated pattern designed to cut off escape routes. Thick smoke begins filling the room, carrying the stench of gasoline and burnt coffee. Through the chaos, David moves with lethal grace. His hand finds the fire suppression controls, triggering emergency sprinklers. Steam hisses as water meets fire, creating a smokescreen that works both ways. Years of muscle memory take over as he positions himself away from windows and doors, using the counter as cover. The first attackers breach through the kitchen entrance. Their tactical gear and weapon handling suggest Cartel special forces. Trained killers, not street thugs. David allows himself a grim smile. Finally, something familiar. Glass crunches under boots as more men enter, spreading out in practiced formation. Their leader barks orders in rapid-fire Spanish, clear the calle. Building, find the employees, make examples. No witnesses. David becomes a ghost in his own shop, using smoke and shadow to his advantage. The first Cartel soldier goes down silently, a precise strike to the throat cutting off any warning. The second falls to a coffee pot, wielded like a brass knuckle, teeth scattering across the floor. Gunfire erupts as they spot him, but David's already moving. He rolls behind an overturned table as bullets shred the air where he stood. The Cartel soldiers advance methodically, professional enough to know better than to bunch up. Their mistake is thinking numbers alone will be enough. David's counterattack is swift and brutal. He uses their own formation against them, forcing crossfire situations that have them hesitating to shoot. Each moment of hesitation becomes an opening. A broken arm here, a shattered kneecap there. He's spent 15 years turning this shop into his home. Now it becomes his killing ground. More Molotovs crash through windows. The sprinkler system sputters and dies. They've cut the water main. Smoke thickens as flames spread across walls, covered in 15 years of memories. The SEAL team photo curls and blackens in the heat. David retreats tactically toward the basement, leaving a trail of broken bodies. Not dead. He's not that man anymore. But they won't be following anyone's orders for a long time. Through the smoke, he catches glimpses of more soldiers entering. Too many. Time to change the game. He reaches the basement door just as heavy boots thunder down from the roof. They're coming from all angles now. a full tactical assault. David slips through the door, closing it quietly behind him. In the darkness, his fingers find the hidden panel he installed years ago. Old habits die hard. The basement transforms into a command center as hidden lights flicker to life. Monitors show thermal images of hostiles spreading through the building. Weapon racks emerge from behind false walls. Body armor, tactical gear, everything a SEAL might need for one last mission. Through reinforced concrete, distant explosions echo as the cartel soldiers breach the kitchen's gas line. They're trying to burn him out. Efficient, professional, but they don't understand what they're dealing with. This isn't just a coffee shop. It's a fortress designed by a man who spent his life preparing for war. David moves to a heavy footlocker in the corner, combination lock spinning under practiced fingers. Inside, ghosts of his past life wade in. Orderly rows, night vision goggles, combat knife, the tools that made him legend in another life. His hands remember their weight as muscle memory floods back. More explosions rock the building as he efficiently gears up. Each piece of equipment slides into place like greeting an old friend. Above, the cartel soldiers secure their positions, believing they have him trapped. He can almost admire their thoroughness. Through the reinforced door, Ellen and Mark watch, with wide eyes as David Grant the barista disappears, replaced by something far more dangerous. His movements become liquid grace, every motion speaking of violence held in check. When he finally turns to them, his eyes carry the focused calculation of a predator preparing to hunt. "Stay here. I'll draw them away from the building." His voice remains calm, but carries an edge that brooks no argument. "When the shooting starts, call this number." He hands Ellen a worn business card. "Tell them Cairo Protocol. They'll understand." Ellen stares at the card. No name, just a phone number and a faded seal trident. "David, you can't take them alone. There's too many." "I won't be alone." David checks his equipment one final time. "I'll have home field advantage." A ghost of a smile crosses his face. "And they're about to learn why you don't back a SEAL into a corner." He moves to the far wall, pressing a hidden panel. A maintenance tunnel entrance slides open, revealing access to the building's infrastructure. Time to remind these cartel soldiers why some predators are best left alone. David Grant didn't leave the SEALs because he was tired of violence. He left because he needed something worth fighting for. Now, as smoke seeps through ceiling cracks and distant gunfire echoes, he finally has it. A home, a family, a purpose. The cartel wanted to make an example of a simple coffee shop owner. Instead, they've awakened something far more dangerous, a warrior who spent 15 years preparing for this exact moment, a predator who turned his entire building into a weapon. As David disappears into the tunnel, Ellen and Mark exchange glances. Through the ceiling, boots thunder past as cartel soldiers continue their search. They don't realize they've stopped being the hunters. In the darkness of his own killing ground, a former SEAL prepares to teach them the meaning of fear. The night is about to become very educational. The metallic click of David's night vision goggles echoes through the still desert air as he scanned desert grounds from his concealed position atop the abandoned warehouse across the street, methodically documenting each defensive measure he's implemented over the past 8 hours of meticulous preparation. The coffee shop's familiar silhouette has been transformed into an intricate web of countermeasures, with military-grade tripwires glinting like deadly spider silk through his enhanced vision. Pressure-sensitive panels disguised beneath seemingly innocent welcome mats and carefully concealed sonic deterrent devices positioned at precise intervals around the perimeter. Through the high-powered scope mounted beside him, David observes the approaching convoy of 3 unmarked SUVs, their high beams cutting aggressive swaths through the pre-dawn darkness as they converge on his position from different directions, a tactical approach suggesting their occupants have received professional training, though their overconfidence in their superior numbers betrays their inexperience with genuinely dangerous targets. His calloused fingers brush against the custom detonator in his tactical vest, connected to a sophisticated network of non-lethal countermeasures salvaged from his final SEAL deployment, flashbangs modified for maximum disorientation with minimal risk of permanent damage. The vehicles halt in a triangulation pattern around desert grounds, their positions inadvertently perfect for the interlocking fields of fire David has prepared, their headlights illuminating the crude threats their advance team had spray-painted across his walls the previous night. Muerte A. Los Traidores alongside crude cartel symbols, the paint still gleaming wet in the artificial light. 12 armed men emerge from the vehicles with military precision but cartel arrogance, their submachine guns visible beneath expensive leather jackets as they spread out in a standard tactical formation that David recognizes from countless conflict zones. Professional enough to be dangerous, but not sophisticated enough to recognize the trap they're walking into. The strike team's leader, his face still bearing fresh bruises from their previous encounter, checks a satellite phone before barking orders in rapid-fire Spanish, directing his men toward entry points that David has spent hours transforming into carefully orchestrated kill zones. Though tonight's lesson will be taught without fatalities, a message sent in broken bones and shattered pride rather than blood and bullet. The first wave approaches the front entrance, weapons raised, completely unaware that they're proceeding exactly according to David's meticulously crafted battle plan. The initial countermeasure triggers flawlessly as the point team crosses his. First invisible tripwire, a modified sprinkler system unleashing a precisely calibrated mixture of military-grade pepper spray and CS gas, the irritants dispersed by pre-positioned fans to create an impenetrable barrier of chemical deterrent. 4 cartel soldiers drop instantly, their expensive tactical gear useless against the specialized compound, while the others scatter in predictable patterns toward covered positions that David has already prepared for their arrival. Their tactical retreat drives them exactly where David's carefully planned containment strategy intended. The narrow alley behind the shop, now transformed into a sophisticated trap zone rigged with overlapping fields of motion sensors and industrial grade LED arrays salvaged from his private security consulting days. The cartel team's night vision equipment, cheap Chinese knockoffs of military hardware, overloads catastrophically as synchronized strobe lights blast the confined space with disorienting patterns designed to trigger immediate vestibular disruption. David moves with liquid grace through pre-planned infiltration routes, his movements reflecting years of high-stakes combat experience merged with intimate knowledge of the terrain he's spent 15 years converting into a defensible position. The first target falls to a textbook blood choke applied with surgical precision, unconscious before his brain can even register the attack. The second catches a beanbag round from David's modified riot gun, the impact precisely calculated to incapacitate without causing permanent internal damage. Both operators collapse into unconscious heaps, their weapons secured and disabled before they hit the ground. The remaining cartel soldiers respond with predictable panic, unleashing wild bursts of automatic fire that tear through the darkness. Without finding targets, their trained shooting stances deteriorating under the combined assault of strobes and disorientation. The gunfire provides perfect audio cover as David triggers the next phase of his defensive system. Commercial subwoofers repurposed into acoustic weapons, flooding the combat zone with precisely calibrated frequencies designed to induce immediate disorientation and nausea without risking permanent auditory damage. David systematically eliminates the remaining threats with mechanical efficiency, each strike a masterclass in close quarters, combat refined through countless special operations. A nerve strike here paralyzes an arm reaching for a backup weapon. A joint lock there leaves a trained killer whimpering on the ground with a dislocated shoulder. Precision strikes to pressure points and nerve clusters, dropping cartel operators like dominoes. One by one, El Tiburon's elite soldiers fall to a man they catastrophically underestimated, their tactical training useless against an opponent operating at a level they can't even comprehend. The strike team leader attempts a desperate tactical withdrawal toward the vehicles, his movements betraying professional training beneath the rising panic. David allows him to cover half the distance before triggering his final countermeasure, a modified anti-riot net launcher acquired through his extensive military contacts, its carbon fiber mesh ensnaring the fleeing commander with embarrassing efficiency. The man thrashes against his restraints like a landed fish, his desperate struggles only entangling him further in the reinforced webbing. David approaches his captured quarry with measured steps, his movements deliberately calm to emphasize the complete control he maintains over the situation. Around them, 11 elite cartel operators lie incapacitated in various states of consciousness, their moans and whimpers creating a symphony of defeat that will carry a message far more effective than mere execution could have achieved. This isn't just a victory, it's an education in the differences between ordinary soldiers and someone trained to operate at the absolute peak of military capability. Crouching beside the entangled commander, David modulates his voice to carry just enough lethal promise to penetrate the man's terror-fogged brain, each word precisely chosen to ensure the message reaches El Tiburon exactly as intended. I could have killed every one of you without breaking a sweat. Remember that when you make your report. His tactical knife whispers from its sheath, the blade precisely severing specific strands of the capture net, enough to ensure the leader can eventually free himself, but only after sufficient time has passed for the lesson to sink in. Tell El Tiburon something else too. Tonight was a professional courtesy. Next time won't be a warning. Police sirens begin their distant wail as David melts into pre-planned escape routes, his withdrawal as precisely choreographed as every other aspect of the evening's performance. By the time local law enforcement arrives on scene, they'll discover a tableau carefully crafted to send multiple messages, scattered weapons, and incapacitated cartel soldiers telling one story to the police, while the sophistication of the non-lethal countermeasures sends a very different message to more professional observers about exactly what kind of operator they're dealing with. From his secondary observation post in the hidden command center beneath desert grounds, David monitors the unfolding situation through an array of security feeds, confirming that each element of his plan has executed precisely as intended. Ellen and Mark have already been relocated to segregated safe houses, their movements coordinated through cutouts to maintain operational security. The shop's comprehensive insurance policy, backed by contacts from his contracting days, will more than cover the minimal collateral damage. Every contingency accounted for, every angle considered and countered. His encrypted phone vibrates with an incoming message from an unlisted number, a video attachment showing Miguel El Tiburon Vargas himself, the cartel lieutenant turned regional boss, watching surveillance footage of the night's encounter with an expression of controlled rage that suggests David's message has been received precisely as intended. The text accompanying the video is admirably concise. I'm coming. Personally. David allows himself a small smile as he begins methodically disassembling and securing his tactical gear. El Tiburon believes he's escalating the situation, completely unaware that he's responding exactly as David's strategic analysis predicted, walking step by step into a confrontation that David has spent 15 years preparing to execute. The desert sun breaks over the horizon as David calmly prepares the morning's first batch of coffee, his movements precise and unhurried as emergency medical teams load the last of the incapacitated cartel operators into waiting ambulances. His hands remain perfectly steady as he lifts the steaming cup to his lips, the same stability that once held sniper rifles steady through 72-hour Overwatch missions now applied to more peaceful pursuits, the same attention to detail that once planned special operations now focused on measuring coffee beans and controlling water temperature. Let El Tiburon come with his personal attention and cartel armies. The self-styled predator is about to learn the same lesson that every enemy David faced during his SEAL career discovered far too late. The most dangerous operators are the ones who appear to have everything to lose but have already accounted for every possible loss in their strategic calculations. David Grant hasn't spent the last 15 years hiding from violence. He spent it preparing for exactly this type of confrontation, transforming every aspect of his civilian life into components of a comprehensive defensive strategy. The warrior that El Tiburon's attacks have awakened isn't some retired soldier trying to recapture past glories. This is a fully operational combat specialist who simply chose to direct his capabilities toward more constructive pursuits until someone foolish enough forced him to demonstrate exactly why Navy SEALs are considered the apex predators of modern warfare. And now that David has found something genuinely worth fighting for, no force on earth will prevent him from protecting it with every skill and capability at his disposal. The real war is about to begin, and El Tiburon is about to discover the hard way that he's brought cartel soldiers to a SEAL fight. Miguel El Tiburon, Vargas, stares at the dossier spread across his mahogany desk, surveillance photos and military records painting a picture that transforms his confident smirk into something far more dangerous as his fingers trace across the classified documents detailing Operations Shadow Strike and Desert Phantom. After action reports describing urban warfare techniques that left entire terrorist cells dismantled with surgical precision, and most importantly, the service record of one Chief Petty Officer David Grant, decorated Navy SEAL with a particular specialty in turning civilian infrastructure into tactical advantages during extended urban combat operations. The cartel boss's personal security detail shifts uncomfortably as their employer's rage builds with each new page, their own military experience sufficient to recognize exactly how catastrophically they've underestimated their opponent, while behind them, a former Israeli intelligence operative continues her briefing about the man they've been attempting to strong-arm. Chief Grant's unit specialized in urban counterterrorism, particularly operations requiring extended occupation of civilian areas without collateral damage, earning him the nickname the Ghost of Fallujah for his ability to eliminate high-value targets while maintaining perfect deniability. Surveillance footage from the previous night's debacle plays across multiple screens, showing David's systematic dismantling of their elite tactical team, now analyzed with terrifying new context as the intelligence operative highlights subtle details they'd previously missed, the precise positioning of countermeasures reflecting intimate knowledge of cartel tactical doctrine, the calculated application of non-lethal force demonstrating years of experience in sending messages through controlled violence, and, most disturbingly, the evidence that every aspect of the coffee shop's layout has been subtly optimized for a defensive operations over years of careful preparation. El Tiburon's granite-knuckled fist slams into his desk hard enough to scatter papers as he growls orders to his communications officer, initiating a series of encrypted calls to specific contacts, former Special Forces operators turned mercenaries, counter-terrorism specialists who switched sides for better pay, the kind of professionals you call when you need to eliminate someone, with David Grant's particular skill set, each one commanding a price tag that would bankrupt a small cartel but representing mere pocket change to an operation of El Tiburon's scale. Within hours, 4 separate teams of elite mercenaries converged on the small border town, their arrival coordinated through multiple cutouts to maintain operational security, former Delta Force operators providing overwatch from concealed positions, ex-Spetsnaz specialists setting up sniper nests with overlapping fields of fire, Israeli counter-terrorism experts establishing a tactical command center in an abandoned warehouse, and a full platoon of cartel special forces establishing a perfect containment perimeter around desert ground. David becomes aware of the shift in tactical situation immediately, his years of combat experience translating subtle changes in civilian traffic patterns and customer behavior into a clear picture of the net closing around his position. While his own surveillance systems identify multiple reconnaissance teams conducting professional pre-mission surveys of his defenses, their movements betraying the kind of training that can't be hidden by civilian disguises. Inside desert grounds, Mark's hands remain steady as he maintains his normal routine behind the espresso machine, his time in prison having taught him to recognize the tension preceding violence, while Ellen calmly handles the regular customers with one hand kept carefully. Near the panic button David installed beneath the counter, both employees demonstrating the situational awareness that countless hours of David's careful training have ingrained into their movements. The attack begins with a precision that validates El Tiburon's massive expenditure on professional talent. Synchronized EMP devices knocking out David's security systems and communications, hidden jamming units blocking all cellular signals within a 3-block radius, and carefully positioned marksmen ensuring that any attempt to escape through pre-planned routes would be met with immediate lethal force. David processes the changing tactical situation with the emotional detachment of someone who's faced worse odds in dozens of combat zones, his mind already cycling through contingency plans as he moves Ellen and Mark toward the basement panic room, every step calculated to avoid the sniper positions he's already identified through subtle laser reflections and suspicious civilian movements at key vantage points. The first breach comes simultaneously through 3 separate entry points, shaped charges, designed to minimize collateral damage while creating perfect entry zones for the assault teams, demonstrating the kind of professional courtesy that only comes with top-tier operators, the kind who understand the difference between cartel violence and precision military operations. David responds with the fluid grace of someone who spent 15 years preparing for exactly this scenario, triggering backup systems protected against electromagnetic interference while leading his people through hidden maintenance tunnels designed specifically for this type of tactical retreat, his movements guided by mental maps of every possible escape route and countermeasure built into the building's infrastructure. The mercenary teams flow through the breached entries with perfect tactical coordination, their movements betraying the kind of training that comes from years of high-stakes military operations. But they quickly discover that David's preparations extend far beyond their initial intelligence suggested. Every apparent exit revealing itself as a carefully crafted kill box, every defensive position covering multiple angles of counterattack, the entire building transformed into a three-dimensional chess game where every move has been anticipated and countered. Former Delta operators find themselves caught in mechanical traps that would impress their old combat engineers. Ex-Spetsnaz discover their carefully planned fields of fire blocked by precisely positioned barriers that weren't there moments ago. And Israeli counterterrorism experts realize too late that the building's entire ventilation system has been converted into a sophisticated network for deploying tactical countermeasures. David guides his team through the chaos with the calm precision of someone who's rehearsed this exact scenario countless times, his voice steady as he directs Mark and Ellen through executable actions practiced during countless coffee shop safety drills that now reveal their true tactical purpose, their muscle memory allowing them to move efficiently despite the professional violence erupting around them. The mercenary team leaders coordinate their response with impressive speed, adapting tactics and redirecting resources to counter David's defensive measures. But they quickly realize they're dealing with someone who's spent years preparing for exactly this type of professional assault. Every contingency they develop already answered by pre-positioned countermeasures, every tactical advantage nullified by careful preparation and intimate knowledge of the terrain. David leads his people through a concealed exit he installed years ago, the route protected by overlapping defensive measures that buy just enough time to reach the waiting vehicle. A heavily modified SUV with military-grade armor and counter-surveillance equipment pre-positioned for exactly this type of tactical withdrawal as part of the layered contingency plans he's spent years developing. The mercenary teams attempt to coordinate a pursuit, but quickly discover that David's escape plan involves multiple redundancies and pre-planned diversions. Decoy vehicles launching from different locations, automated systems creating false trails, and carefully timed distractions that split their forces and disrupt their carefully planned containment strategy. Ellen demonstrates the results of David's careful preparation as she takes the wheel with professional precision, her movements showing countless hours of practical defensive driving instruction as she executes textbook counter-surveillance techniques, while Mark maintains security from the backseat with the calm focus of someone who's drilled these exact scenarios until they became second nature. The tactical withdrawal leads them through pre-surveyed routes toward one of several prepared safe houses David has maintained since establishing his cover in the border town, the location chosen specifically for its defensive advantages and multiple escape options, already stocked with everything needed to sustain extended operations while developing counter-offensive strategies. El Tiburon receives the report of David's escape with cold fury, immediately recognizing that his expensive mercenary teams have been comprehensively outmaneuvered by someone playing a much longer strategic game. The coffee shop itself, now revealed as merely one layer of an extensively planned defensive network, extending throughout the entire region. David secures his team in the safe house with practiced efficiency, quickly establishing security measures while beginning to execute the next phase of contingency plans developed long before they were needed. His mind already processing the tactical changes required by El Tiburon's escalation to professional military asset. The morning sun rises over the desert as David watches multiple cartel vehicles attempting to establish search patterns through his high-powered optics, his expression showing no concern as he observes their professional but ultimately predictable movements, already calculating how to turn their own tactical doctrine against them in the next phase of this evolving conflict. The true game is finally beginning. No longer a simple conflict between cartel soldiers and a retired SEAL, but an escalating war between sophisticated operators playing for the highest possible stakes, where victory will go to the side that best understands the fundamental truth of asymmetric warfare. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't the one you can see, but the plans put in motion long before the first shot was fired. The sprawling Sonoran Desert transforms into a tactical chessboard as David Grant observes cartel movement patterns through high-powered optics, his trained eye identifying vulnerabilities in their search operations while his mind calculates precise ways to exploit their organizational weaknesses and technical limitations. Years of special operations experience allowing him to recognize exactly how their professional military training will work against them in this unfamiliar terrain. Dust-covered cartel vehicles maintain standardized search patterns across the desert landscape, their drivers demonstrating the kind of tactical discipline that comes from professional military training, completely unaware that their predictable movements are providing David with exactly the kind of intelligence he needs to systematically dismantle their operations, their adherence to standard protocols becoming a vulnerability against an opponent trained specifically to exploit such patterns. Mark demonstrates his mechanical expertise as he helps David modify civilian vehicles into combat assets, his prison-learned skills combining with David's tactical knowledge to create devastating innovations, ordinary cars transformed into mobile electronic warfare platforms, commercial drones rebuilt into surveillance systems, and everyday tools repurposed into sophisticated weapons that bypass traditional military countermeasures. Ellen's maternal instincts transform into tactical advantages as she coordinates with local contact. Her years of managing customer relationships now allowing her to gather critical intelligence through seemingly innocent conversations, building an information network that tracks cartel movements through the observations of truckers, farmers, and other desert residents who've grown to trust the friendly coffee shop manager. David begins his systematic dismantling of the cartel's operations with precise strikes against their logistical infrastructure, targeting fuel supplies with specially modified incendiary devices that destroy vehicle engines without risking explosive detection, while carefully planted electronic warfare devices intercept and scramble their communications networks, creating confusion and paranoia among their troops. Professional mercenaries find their expensive equipment failing at critical moments as David's improvised electromagnetic pulse generators overload sensitive electronics, their tactical advantage eroding as communications break down, and night vision gear malfunctions, forcing them to rely on basic skills in terrain that favors David's extensive preparation and intimate local knowledge. Cartel supply lines begin, experiencing mysterious failures as David's team executes carefully planned interdiction operations, their vehicles disabled by precisely placed mechanical traps, while their secure communications are compromised by improvised signal interceptors, creating a steadily expanding zone of chaos around their target area. El Tiburon's carefully controlled operation descends into increasingly desperate measures as David's guerrilla tactics force them to commit more resources, each escalation playing directly into prepared contingencies as expensive military equipment proves inadequate against improvised weapons specifically designed to exploit their standardized responses. The desert itself becomes David's most powerful ally as he uses the terrain to channel cartel forces into prepared ambush zones, their vehicles falling victim to carefully concealed traps while their troops exhaust themselves chasing shadows through harsh territory that David has spent years learning to navigate. Every geological feature and weather pattern transformed into a tactical advantage, Mark's mechanical ingenuity proves invaluable as he helps develop countermeasures against the cartel's military hardware, his understanding of engines and electronics, allowing them to disable vehicles and communication systems with precisely targeted attacks, while his prison-learned survival skills help them maintain operational capability with minimal resources. Ellen's network of civilian contacts provides crucial early warning of cartel movements, her carefully cultivated relationships with local residents, creating an invisible web of surveillance that allows David's team to stay constantly ahead of their pursuers, transforming ordinary citizens into unwitting participants in their asymmetric warfare campaign. David's SEAL training shines through in the precision of his attacks, each strike calculated to maximize psychological impact while minimizing actual casualties, creating an atmosphere of constant uncertainty that forces the cartel to expend massive resources protecting against threats that seem to materialize from the desert itself. The cartel's professional soldiers find themselves facing an opponent who seems to anticipate their every move, their tactical protocols becoming predictable vulnerabilities as David systematically exploits their training, using their own military discipline against them while remaining frustratingly elusive. Sophisticated surveillance equipment proves useless against David's counterintelligence measures, their expensive thermal imaging and satellite feeds providing only fleeting glimpses of phantom movements, while their armored vehicles become expensive coffins as carefully planned ambushes turn their protection into a tactical liability. Ellie. Tiburon's frustration manifests in increasingly erratic decisions as he commits more resources to the operation. His professional mercenaries, supplemented by waves of cartel soldiers who lack the training to operate effectively in the harsh desert environment, creating confusion and friendly fire incidents that further deteriorate their operational effectiveness. David's team maintains constant mobility, never staying in one location long enough to be effectively targeted while striking precise blows against cartel infrastructure. Their movements coordinated through improvised communication systems that prove immune to professional military interference. The psychological impact of David's campaign becomes evident as cartel soldiers begin refusing assignments in certain areas, their professional training insufficient against an enemy who seems to materialize from the desert itself, striking with devastating precision before disappearing without a trace. Mark's mechanical modifications allow their vehicles to operate far beyond normal limitations, specially adapted cooling systems and reinforced suspensions, turning ordinary cars into desert warfare platforms capable of outmaneuvering the cartel's military hardware while remaining inconspicuous among civilian traffic. Ellen's coordination proves crucial as she manages their logistical operations. Her experience handling complex customer orders now applied to maintaining supply lines and safe houses across the extensive operational area, while her emotional intelligence helps maintain team cohesion under extreme pressure. The cartel's communication networks deteriorate further as David's electronic warfare campaign expands, carefully targeted interference creating confusion and paranoia among their troops while providing valuable intelligence through compromised channels, their expensive encryption proving inadequate against precisely targeted disruption. El Tiburon's desperation becomes evident as he begins offering massive bounties for information leading to David's capture, his previous surgical approach abandoned in favor of brute force as more cartel resources pour into the region, creating exactly the kind of chaos that plays to David's tactical advantages. Professional mercenaries find their tactical options increasingly limited as David's campaign forces them to abandon standard operating procedures, their training becoming a liability as they face an opponent who systematically exploits their ingrained responses while remaining immune to conventional countermeasures. The desert landscape transforms into an ever-shifting battlefield as David's team maintains constant movement, their improvised bases appearing and disappearing like mirages, while precision strikes continue to erode cartel capabilities, creating an expanding zone of uncertainty that consumes massive resources to maintain. Mark's technical expertise allows them to maintain operational capability despite limited resources, his improvised repairs and modifications keeping their equipment functional while developing new countermeasures against cartel hardware, turning the enemy's technological numerical superiority into an expensive liability. Ellen's civilian network expands as local residents increasingly side with David's team, their quiet resistance providing crucial intelligence and logistical support while maintaining perfect deniability, creating an invisible infrastructure that proves impossible for the cartel to effectively target. David's strategic precision becomes evident as each cartel escalation plays into prepared contingencies, their increasing commitment of resources creating vulnerabilities that his team systematically exploits, turning their superior numbers and equipment into logistical burdens that consume massive resources to maintain. The psychological warfare aspects of David's campaign intensify as cartel soldiers face an opponent who seems to anticipate their every move, their professional training providing no defense against attacks that materialize from the desert itself, creating an atmosphere of constant uncertainty that erodes their operational effectiveness. El Tiburon's command structure shows increasing strain as field commanders struggle to maintain control over demoralized troops, their professional military experience proving inadequate against an enemy who systematically dismantles their tactical doctrine while remaining frustratingly beyond effective retaliation. The desert itself seems to become David's ally, as his team uses natural features to maximum advantage, their intimate knowledge of the terrain allowing them to disappear completely while maintaining constant pressure on cartel operations, turning the harsh environment into a force multiplier that negates the enemy's numerical superiority. Mark's mechanical innovations provide crucial tactical advantages as he develops new ways to exploit cartel equipment vulnerabilities. His prison-learned ingenuity combining with David's combat experience to create devastating countermeasures that prove immune to conventional military responses. Ellen's coordination capabilities prove invaluable as she manages their expanding operation, her natural leadership abilities helping maintain team cohesion while her network of civilian contacts provides crucial operational support, creating a sustainable infrastructure that allows them to maintain constant pressure on cartel operations. The systematic dismantling of cartel capabilities continues as David's team targets critical vulnerabilities, their precise strikes creating cascading failures that consume massive resources to contain while remaining maddeningly difficult to effectively counter, forcing El Tiburon to commit ever-increasing assets to a rapidly deteriorating situation. Professional mercenaries find themselves facing an opponent who seems to possess perfect tactical awareness, their expensive equipment and training providing no advantage against attacks that materialize without warning and disappear without trace, creating an atmosphere of constant uncertainty that erodes their operational effectiveness. David's strategic mastery becomes evident as each cartel escalation plays directly into prepared contingencies, their increasing commitment of resources, creating vulnerabilities that his team systematically exploits, turning their superior numbers and equipment into logistical burdens that consume massive assets to maintain. The desert warfare campaign intensifies as David's team maintains constant pressure through precisely targeted strikes, their mobility and adaptability allowing them to remain completely elusive while systematically dismantling cartel capabilities, creating an expanding zone of chaos that proves impossible to effectively contain. El Tiburon's frustration manifests in increasingly erratic decisions as his carefully planned operation descends into chaos, his professional military assets proving inadequate against an opponent who seems to anticipate and counter every tactical adjustment, forcing him to commit ever-increasing resources to a rapidly deteriorating situation. The encrypted phone vibrates against David's tactical vest as he maintains overwatch position on a ridge overlooking the desert expanse, his high-powered optics tracking cartel movement patterns while documenting their increasingly desperate attempts to locate his team's position when Ellen's trembling voice shatters his tactical focus with 3 words that transform the entire conflict. They have Maria. Surveillance footage from Maria's school streams across David's tablet screen, showing a precisely coordinated tactical extraction that demonstrates extensive pre-planning and professional execution. The operation bearing none of the cartel's usual brutal signatures, but instead reflecting the cold efficiency of experienced contractors who understand the value of clean operational security. Ellen's hands remain steady on her weapon as she processes the footage of her daughter's abduction. Years of David's training allowing her to channel maternal panic into focused determination, while her mind catalogs tactical details that others might miss. The operator's stance suggesting American military training, their equipment indicating private military contractor origins, the entire operation demonstrating the kind of precision that only comes with extensive professional experience. Mark's expression hardens as he reviews the technical specifications of the cartel compound where they're holding Maria, his time in prison having taught him to recognize the difference between theatrical security measures and genuine tactical defenses, his analysis highlighting vulnerabilities that wouldn't be apparent to operators without his particular background in circumventing professional security systems. David's tactical assessment runs through multiple scenarios as he processes the compound's defensive layout, his SEAL training identifying both obvious approaches and subtle weaknesses, while his mind calculates precise ways to exploit the cartel's predictable responses to various attack vectors. Years of special operations experience allowing him to recognize patterns that others would miss. The compound itself represents a formidable challenge, a converted desert ranch transformed into a defensive stronghold through extensive military-grade fortifications, its perimeter secured by overlapping fields of fire, while internal security measures reflect the kind of paranoid attention to detail that comes from professional combat experience. Surveillance footage shows multiple teams of private military contractors maintaining security positions throughout the compound, their movements demonstrating the kind of tactical discipline that comes from extensive combat deployment, while cartel soldiers provide supplementary muscle that creates layers of defensive complexity requiring precise tactical solutions. Ellen maintains her professional demeanor as she helps plan the rescue operation, her maternal instincts transformed into tactical advantages as she identifies subtle details about the compound's domestic operations that military observers might overlook, her intimate knowledge of routine civilian patterns providing crucial intelligence for operational planning. Mark's mechanical expertise proves invaluable as he analyzes the compound's technical vulnerabilities, his understanding of security systems, allowing him to identify critical weaknesses, while his prison-learned improvisation skills suggest unconventional approaches to bypassing professional defensive measures that rely too heavily on technological solutions. David's strategic analysis methodically breaks down the compound's defensive layers, his special operations experience allowing him to recognize how the cartel's professional security can be turned against them through precisely targeted chaos that exploits their tactical predictability while creating opportunities for small unit infiltration. The rescue plan takes shape through careful coordination between team members, each contributing specific expertise that transforms apparent obstacles into tactical advantages. Ellen's maternal insight identifying routine patterns that create operational windows, Mark's technical knowledge suggesting precise ways to compromise, security systems, and David's combat experience crafting a comprehensive assault strategy that maximizes their limited resources. Preparation for the rescue operation proceeds with methodical precision as David's team assembles specialized equipment designed to exploit specific vulnerabilities. Their limited resources focused on crucial capabilities, while improvised solutions fill tactical gaps that expensive military hardware would normally address through brute force approaches. Ellen's hands remain perfectly steady as she practices close quarters combat drills that David has specifically modified for the compound's layout, her maternal determination providing motivation, while her natural adaptability allows her to quickly master techniques that normally require extensive tactical training to execute effectively. Mark's technical skills prove crucial as he modifies civilian equipment into tactical assets, his mechanical ingenuity allowing them to create sophisticated countermeasures from limited resources, while his understanding of security systems helps develop precise methods for compromising the compound's professional defensive measures. David's combat experience guides the team through extensive rehearsals that address every foreseeable contingency. His special operations background allowing him to identify crucial details that transform theoretical plans into executable tactics while maintaining the flexibility needed to adapt to inevitable complications. The assault team's preparation reflects David's extensive tactical experience as they modify equipment and practice maneuvers specifically designed to exploit the compound's defensive vulnerabilities. Their limited resources focused on crucial capabilities, while improvised solutions address gaps that would normally require extensive military support to overcome. Ellen's maternal focus provides crucial motivation as the team conducts final equipment, checks and reviews tactical assignments. Her determination to rescue her daughter, inspiring heightened attention to detail, while her natural leadership abilities help maintain unit cohesion under extreme pressure. Mark's technical expertise supports final preparations as he ensures all modified equipment functions precisely as intended, his mechanical understanding allowing last-minute adjustments that optimize their limited resources, while his prison-learned improvisational skills suggest backup options for crucial systems. David's strategic analysis continues processing tactical alternatives as he makes final adjustments to the assault plan. His combat experience allowing him to anticipate potential complications while developing precise contingencies that maximize their chances of success despite severely limited resources. The rescue operation begins under cover of darkness as David's team approaches the compound through carefully planned infiltration route, their movements reflecting extensive rehearsal while maintaining the flexibility needed to adapt to the inevitably chaotic nature of combat operations in unfamiliar territory. Ellen's maternal instincts combine with tactical training as she maintains perfect discipline during the approach, her determination to reach her daughter providing motivation, while her natural adaptability allows her to smoothly adjust to changing conditions that might disturb less focused operators. Mark's technical knowledge proves invaluable as he systematically compromises the compound's security measures, his understanding of professional systems allowing precise interventions, while his prison-learned improvisational skills provide crucial backup options when primary approaches encounter unexpected complications. David's combat experience guides the team through initial contact as cartel sentries detect their presence, his special operations background allowing instant tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus on primary mission objectives despite inevitable tactical complications. The assault team's coordination reflects extensive preparation as they execute precisely planned maneuvers, their limited resources proving adequate for crucial tasks, while improvised solutions address unexpected challenges that would normally require substantial military support to overcome effectively. Ellen's maternal determination drives her through intense close-quarters combat as they breach the compound's outer defenses, her focused aggression controlled by tactical discipline, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to chaotic conditions that might overwhelm less motivated operators. Mark's technical skills create crucial advantages as he systematically disables security systems and communications networks, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions, while his prison-learned creativity provides effective solutions to unexpected complications that threaten operational success. David's strategic coherence maintains mission focus as the team encounters heavy resistance, his combat experience allowing precise tactical adjustments while keeping primary objectives firmly in mind despite the chaos and confusion inherent in close-quarters combat operations. The rescue operations momentum builds as the team penetrates deeper into the compound, their coordinated actions reflecting extensive rehearsal while maintaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to inevitable complications arising from combat in unfamiliar territory. Ellen's maternal focus provides crucial motivation. As they fight through multiple defensive positions, her determination to reach her daughter driving precise application of tactical training while her natural leadership abilities help maintain unit cohesion under extreme stress. Mark's technical expertise continues creating tactical advantages as he compromises internal security systems, his understanding of professional defenses allowing precise interventions, while his improvisational skills provide effective solutions when primary approaches prove inadequate. David's combat experience guides the team through increasingly intense resistance as cartel forces coordinate their response, his special operations background allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite mounting operational complications. The assault team's coordination reflects extensive preparation as they methodically cleared defensive positions, their limited resources proving adequate for crucial tasks, while improvised solutions address unexpected challenges that would normally require substantial military support. Ellen's maternal determination drives her through multiple close quarters engagements as they approach her daughter's location, her focused aggression controlled by tactical discipline, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to chaotic combat conditions. Mark's technical skills continue providing crucial advantages as he systematically neutralizes security measures, protecting high-value areas, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions, while his prison-learned creativity offers effective solutions to unexpected complications. David's strategic coherence maintains operational focus as the team encounters elite mercenary unit, his combat experience allowing precise tactical adjustments while keeping primary objectives firmly in mind. Despite intensifying resistance from professional operators, the rescue operation approaches its climax as the team fights through final defensive positions, their coordinated actions reflecting extensive rehearsal while maintaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to increasingly desperate resistance from cartel forces. Ellen's maternal focus provides unwavering motivation as they breach the final barriers between her and Maria, her determination driving precise application of tactical training, while her natural leadership abilities help maintain unit cohesion under extreme combat conditions. Mark's technical expertise creates decisive advantages as he compromises final security measures, his understanding of professional systems allowing precise interventions, while his improvisational skills provide effective solutions when primary approaches encounter unexpected complications. David's combat experience guides the team through culminating engagements as they secure their primary objective, his special operations background allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite chaotic close-quarters combat conditions. The rescue operation achieves success as the team extracts Maria from the compound, their coordinated actions reflecting extensive preparation while maintaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to inevitable complications during withdrawal under heavy fire. Ellen's maternal instincts combine perfectly with tactical discipline as she secures her daughter, her focused determination providing crucial motivation, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to rapidly changing combat conditions during tactical withdrawal. Mark's technical skills prove invaluable during extraction as he systematically covers their retreat, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions, while his prison-learned creativity provides effective solutions to complications threatening successful withdrawal. David's strategic coherence maintains unit survival as they fight their way clear of the compound, his combat experience allowing precise tactical adjustments while keeping team members secure despite intense pursuit by increasingly desperate cartel forces. The assault team's coordination reflects extensive preparation as they execute their withdrawal plan, their limited resources proving adequate for crucial tasks, while improvised solutions address unexpected challenges that would normally require substantial military support to overcome. Ellen's maternal determination drives her through final engagements as they break contact with pursuit forces, her focused aggression controlled by tactical discipline, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to chaotic conditions threatening successful extraction. Mark's technical expertise creates crucial advantages as he systematically delays pursuit forces his mechanical understanding, allowing precise interventions, while his improvisational skills provide effective solutions when primary approaches prove inadequate during tactical withdrawal. David's combat experience guides the team to safety as they evade final pursuit attempts, his special operations background allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite exhaustion and combat stress-threatening operational effectiveness. The rescue operation concludes successfully as the team reaches prepared extraction point, their coordinated actions reflecting extensive rehearsal while maintaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to final complications during strategic withdrawal. Moonless darkness shrouds the cartel's desert compound as David Grant observes security patterns through advanced thermal imaging, his trained eye identifying precise vulnerabilities in their professional defensive coverage while calculating exact angles of approach that maximize available cover. Years of special operations experience allowing him to recognize patterns in guard rotations that create exploitable gaps in otherwise formidable security. Mark's technical expertise proves invaluable as he systematically compromises the compound's electronic security measures through specially modified equipment, his prison-learned skills, allowing precise manipulation of surveillance systems while creating strategic blind spots that professional security forces won't immediately recognize. As deliberate infiltration vectors, Ellen maintains perfect tactical discipline as she checks specialized equipment designed for close-quarters combat in the compound's confined spaces, her maternal determination to rescue Maria providing razor-sharp focus, while years of David's training allow her to channel that energy into precise operational effectiveness instead of emotional liability. The assault team begins their infiltration through carefully selected approach vectors, their movements reflecting countless hours of rehearsal while maintaining the tactical flexibility needed to adapt to inevitable complications, each team member demonstrating the kind of coordinated precision that only comes from extensive preparation. Under expert guidance, David's combat experience guides them through initial contact with perimeter security, his SEAL training allowing silent elimination of sentries through precise application of close-quarters combat techniques that leave no evidence of infiltration, maintaining tactical surprise while creating secure lanes of advance for follow-up elements. Mark's understanding of security systems creates crucial advantages as he systematically disables successive layers of professional defensive measures, his mechanical ingenuity allowing them to penetrate protective barriers, while his prison-learned improvisational skills provide effective solutions when primary approaches encounter unexpected complications. Ellen's natural adaptability proves essential as they encounter unplanned security measures, her quick thinking complementing tactical training, while her maternal focus maintains absolute dedication to operational success, transforming potential obstacles into manageable challenges through precise application of practiced technique. The assault team maintains perfect coordination as they penetrate deeper into the compound's defensive layers, their movements demonstrating extensive rehearsal while retaining tactical flexibility that allows smooth adaptation to changing security conditions, each member executing precise responsibilities that support overall operational success. David's strategic coherence guides the team through increasingly sophisticated defensive measures, his special operations background, allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining focus on primary objectives despite mounting complications that would distract less experienced operators from crucial mission parameters. Mark's technical skills continue creating tactical advantages as they encounter professional security systems protecting high-value areas, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions, while his improvisational expertise provides effective solutions when primary approaches prove inadequate against unexpected defensive measures. Ellen's tactical discipline remains perfect as they navigate through confined spaces requiring close-quarters combat expertise, her maternal determination driving precise application of practiced techniques, while her natural leadership abilities help maintain unit cohesion under mounting operational stress. The assault team's coordination reflects extensive preparation, as they methodically clear defensive positions, their limited resources proving adequate for crucial tasks, while improvised solutions address unexpected challenges that would normally require substantial military support to overcome effectively. David's combat experience guides them through multiple engagements with professional security forces, his SEAL training allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite increasing resistance from cartel operators, demonstrating extensive military background. Mark's technical expertise continues providing crucial advantages as they penetrate successive security layers, his understanding of professional systems allowing precise interventions, while his prison-learned creativity offers effective solutions to complications threatening operational success. Ellen's maternal focus drives her through intense close quarters combat as they approach likely holding areas, her tactical discipline controlling focused aggression, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to chaotic conditions that might overwhelm less motivated operators. The assault team maintains tactical momentum as they breach final defensive position, their coordinated actions reflecting extensive rehearsal while maintaining flexibility that allows effective response to increasingly desperate resistance from cartel forces protecting high-value assets. David's strategic coherence guides them through culminating engagements as they approach their primary objective, his special operations background allowing precise tactical adjustments while keeping team members focused despite chaotic close-quarters combat conditions threatening. Operational cohesion. Mark's technical skills prove decisive as they compromise. Security measures protecting internal strongpoints, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions, while his improvisational expertise provides effective solutions when primary approaches encounter sophisticated countermeasures. Ellen's maternal determination drives her through final defensive positions as they close on Maria's likely location. Her focused aggression controlled by tactical discipline, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to rapidly changing combat conditions requiring instant response. The assault team achieves breakthrough into central compound areas as precisely planned demolition charges breach reinforced barriers, their coordinated actions reflecting extensive preparation while maintaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to inevitable complications during high-stakes operations. David's combat experience guides them through chaos erupting. After explosive breaches, his SEAL training allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite intense close-quarters combat with elite cartel security forces protecting inner compound areas. Mark's technical expertise creates crucial advantages during room-clearing operations, his understanding of professional systems allowing precise interventions, while his prison-learned creativity provides effective solutions to complications threatening successful penetration of high-security zones. Ellen's maternal focus maintains perfect tactical discipline as they methodically clear possible holding areas, her determination driving precise application of practice techniques, while her natural leadership abilities help maintain unit cohesion under extreme combat stress. The assault team's coordination reflects extensive preparation as they secure successive objectives, their limited resources proving adequate for crucial tasks, while improvised solutions address unexpected challenges that would normally require substantial military support to overcome. David's strategic coherence guides them through increasingly intense resistance as they approach central command areas, his special operations background allowing precise tactical adjustments while keeping team members secure despite mounting operational complications threatening mission success. Mark's technical skills continue providing decisive advantages as they penetrate final security layers, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions, while his improvisational expertise offers effective solutions when primary approaches prove inadequate against sophisticated defensive measures. Ellen's maternal determination drives her through brutal close-quarters engagements as they close on verified intelligence about Maria's location, her focused aggression controlled by tactical discipline, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to chaotic combat conditions requiring instant response. The assault team maintains perfect coordination as they breach final barriers, protecting high-value assets, their movements demonstrating extensive rehearsal while retaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to increasingly desperate resistance from cartel forces protecting command elements. David's combat experience guides them through culminating engagements as they achieve breakthrough into central command areas. His SEAL training allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite chaotic close-quarters combat conditions threatening operational cohesion. Mark's technical expertise proves crucial as they compromise sophisticated security measures protecting innermost compound areas, his understanding of professional systems allowing precise interventions, while his prison-learned creativity provides effective solutions to unexpected complications threatening mission success. Ellen's maternal focus drives her through intense room-clearing operations as they methodically search verified holding areas, her tactical discipline controlling focused aggression, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to rapidly changing combat conditions requiring instant response. The assault team achieves primary breakthrough as precisely coordinated. Actions locate Maria's position, their movements reflecting extensive preparation while maintaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to inevitable complications during high-stakes rescue operations. David's strategic coherence maintains perfect unit coordination as they secure Maria's location, his special operations background allowing precise tactical adjustments while keeping team members focused despite mounting pressure from converging cartel security forces protecting high-value assets. Mark's technical skills create crucial advantages. During extraction preparation, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions while his improvisational expertise provides effective solutions when primary approaches encounter sophisticated countermeasures threatening successful withdrawal. Ellen's maternal determination transforms into cold tactical precision as she secures her daughter, her focused discipline controlling emotional response while her natural leadership abilities help maintain unit cohesion under extreme combat stress threatening operational success. The assault team's coordination reflects extensive preparation as they establish defensive positions around recovered objectives, their limited resources proving adequate for crucial tasks, while improvised solutions address unexpected challenges that would normally require substantial military support to overcome. David's combat experience guides them through increasingly desperate cartel counterattacks, his SEAL training allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite chaotic close-quarters combat conditions threatening successful extraction of recovered assets. Mark's technical expertise continues providing decisive advantages as they defend secured positions, his understanding of professional systems allowing precise interventions while his prison-learned creativity offers effective solutions when primary approaches prove inadequate against sophisticated enemy tactics. Ellen's maternal focus maintains perfect tactical discipline as they repel successive assault waves, her determination driving precise application of practiced techniques, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to rapidly changing combat conditions requiring instant response. The assault team achieves temporary strategic advantage as they consolidate defensive positions, their coordinated actions reflecting extensive preparation while maintaining tactical flexibility that allows effective response to inevitable complications during high-stakes operations. David's strategic coherence guides them through mounting tactical pressure as cartel forces coordinate comprehensive counterattacks, his special operations background allowing precise adjustments while keeping team members focused despite chaotic combat conditions threatening operational success. Mark's technical skills prove crucial as they maintain defensive integrity against sophisticated enemy approaches, his mechanical understanding allowing precise interventions while his improvisational expertise provides effective solutions to complications threatening secured positions. Ellen's maternal determination drives her through successive close quarters engagements as they protect recovered objectives, her focused aggression controlled by tactical discipline, while her natural leadership abilities help maintain unit cohesion under extreme combat stress. The assault team's coordination reflects extensive preparation as they repel increasingly desperate enemy attacks, their limited resources proving adequate for crucial tasks, while improvised solutions address unexpected challenges that would normally require substantial military support to overcome. David's combat experience guides them through culminating defensive operations as cartel forces commit elite security elements, his SEAL training, allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining strategic focus despite chaotic close quarters. Combat conditions threatening operational cohesion. The tactical situation transforms dramatically as Miguel El Tiburon Vargas personally arrives on scene, his presence demonstrating the operation's strategic importance, while his professional military background suggests coming confrontation will require David's absolute tactical expertise to overcome. The compound's central chamber transforms into an arena of lethal intent as Miguel El Tiburon Vargas strides through reinforced doors with predatory confidence, his movements reflecting extensive Special Forces training, while his eyes carry the focused calculation of someone accustomed to personal combat, creating an immediate atmosphere of impending violence that causes even hardened cartel soldiers to instinctively back away from the coming confrontation. David maintains perfect tactical awareness as he positions himself between El Tiburon and his team, his SEAL training allowing precise assessment of the cartel leader's capabilities, while his combat experience identifies subtle details that confirm intelligence about Miguel's background in Mexican Special Forces, suggesting the coming fight will require every bit of skill he developed through years of special operations. Ellen secures Maria behind cover with practiced efficiency as she recognizes the inevitable violence about to erupt. Her maternal protectiveness channeled through tactical training, while her natural adaptability allows quick assessment of defensive positions that maximize available protection from the impending chaos of close-quarters combat. Mark's technical expertise continues providing crucial support as he maintains electronic countermeasures, preventing cartel reinforcement, his mechanical understanding allowing precise control of security systems, while his prison-learned creativity develops contingency options for inevitable complications during the coming confrontation. The tension builds through deadly silence as David and Miguel circle with predatory grace, their movements reflecting years of professional combat training, while each seeks tactical advantage in the confined space, creating an atmosphere of controlled violence that causes even experienced cartel soldiers to maintain respectful distance from the impending explosion of lethal skill. Miguel's attack comes with explosive speed as he launches a combination learned through years of Special Forces hand-to-hand combat training, his strikes demonstrating professional precision while probing David's defenses for weaknesses, creating immediate tactical pressure that would overwhelm less experienced operators. David responds with perfect defensive technique as he redirects Miguel's initial assault, his SEAL training allowing precise counters while maintaining tactical awareness of surrounding threats, demonstrating the kind of combat expertise that comes only through countless real-world engagements against skilled opponents. The fight escalates immediately as both combatants recognize they're facing genuine peers in close-quarters combat, their exchanges demonstrating professional respect, while each seeks decisive advantage through superior technique, creating a deadly dance of violence that showcases the highest levels of military hand-to-hand training. Miguel presses his attack with growing intensity as initial exchanges fail to create decisive advantage, his Special Forces background allowing sophisticated combination strikes, while his natural aggression adds devastating power to technically perfect movements, forcing David to demonstrate absolute mastery of defensive fundamentals. David maintains tactical discipline as he weathers Miguel's increasing pressure, his SEAL training allowing precise defensive technique while identifying subtle weaknesses in his opponent's aggressive style, creating opportunities for devastating counters that showcase the difference between special forces and elite special operations training. The confined space becomes a tactical challenge as both fighters demonstrate extensive experience in close quarters combat, their movements utilizing available terrain while avoiding environmental hazards, creating a comprehensive display of professional fighting ability that encompasses every aspect of military hand-to-hand training. Miguel's frustration manifests through increasingly aggressive combinations as David's defense proves impenetrable. His special forces expertise allowing sophisticated attacks while mounting pressure begins affecting technical precision, creating exploitable openings that showcase the importance of tactical discipline under extreme stress. David capitalizes on emerging weaknesses with surgical precision as he transitions from defense to offense, his SEAL training allowing devastating counterstrike while maintaining perfect tactical awareness, demonstrating the kind of combat mastery that comes from years of special operations experience against elite opponents. The fight's momentum shifts decisively as David's superior training becomes evident through precise exploitation of tactical opportunities, his techniques demonstrating perfect economy of motion while each strike targets specific vulnerabilities, creating cascading advantages that showcase the difference between aggressive power and tactical efficiency. Miguel's professional discipline begins deteriorating as David's precise attacks systematically dismantle his defensive capability, his special forces training proving inadequate while mounting damage affects combat effectiveness, creating expanding tactical opportunities that demonstrate the gulf between different levels of military combat expertise. David maintains relentless pressure as he pursues his tactical advantage with cold precision, his SEAL training allowing sophisticated combination strikes while targeting specific weaknesses, creating an overwhelming offensive that showcases the devastating effectiveness of special operations close quarters combat technique. The surrounding Cartel soldiers watch with professional appreciation as David systematically dismantles their leaders' fighting ability, their combat experience, allowing recognition of superior technique while witnessing technical mastery that exceeds their tactical training, creating an atmosphere of growing respect for clearly superior martial expertise. Miguel's desperate counterattack demonstrates dangerous capability despite accumulating damage as he commits completely to offensive pressure, his special forces background, allowing powerful combinations while tactical discipline deteriorates under stress, creating opportunities for decisive resolution through superior technique. David redirects Miguel's desperate assault with precise defensive movement that transitions instantly to devastating counters, his SEAL training allowing perfect tactical awareness while maintaining technical precision, creating the kind of comprehensive victory that can only come through superior combat expertise applied with cold efficiency. The final exchange demonstrates absolute mastery as David systematically destroys Miguel's remaining defensive capability through precisely targeted strikes, his special operations experience allowing devastating combination attacks while maintaining perfect tactical control, creating decisive victory through superior technique rather than crude violence. Miguel collapses from accumulated damage as David's precise attacks finally overcome his professional resilience, his special forces training proving inadequate while superior technique achieves decisive results, creating unmistakable demonstration of tactical dominance that transforms the entire strategic situation. David maintains perfect situational awareness as he secures his tactical advantage, his SEAL training allowing comprehensive control while his combat experience recognizes crucial opportunities, creating strategic openings that allow his team to initiate pre-planned extraction procedures. Technical expertise proves decisive as he triggers preparatory measures for tactical withdrawal, his mechanical understanding allowing precise timing, while his prison-learned creativity provides effective solutions for inevitable complications, creating crucial advantages during critical extraction phases. Ellen's tactical discipline remains perfect as she initiates evacuation procedures with her daughter, her maternal focus channeled through professional training, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to developing situations, creating efficient execution of practiced extraction technique. The tactical situation transforms dramatically as Mark's prepared demolition charges begin systematic destruction of crucial compound infrastructure, his technical knowledge allowing precise targeting while creating cascading damage that forces defensive reaction from remaining cartel forces. David coordinates his team's withdrawal with cold efficiency as secondary explosions begin compromising compound structural integrity, his special operations experience allowing precise tactical movement while maintaining unit cohesion, creating perfect execution of pre-planned extraction procedures under chaotic conditions. The compound's defensive integrity deteriorates rapidly as precisely placed charges trigger chain reactions throughout key structural elements. Mark's technical expertise allowing calculated destruction while creating expanding zones of chaos that disrupt organized resistance to their tactical withdrawal. Ellen maintains perfect control of her sector as she guides Maria through practiced extraction route, her tactical training allowing efficient movement, while her maternal focus ensures comprehensive protection, creating smooth execution of rehearsed procedures despite mounting environmental chaos. The entire facility begins systematic collapse as Mark's demolition strategy achieves comprehensive effects, his technical knowledge allowing precise targeting while creating overwhelming pressure on remaining defensive positions through calculated structural failure. David coordinates final withdrawal phases with practiced efficiency as compound systems experience cascading failure, his special operations experience allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining unit integrity, creating perfect execution of extraction procedures under deteriorating conditions. The remaining cartel forces abandon organized resistance as compound integrity fails catastrophically, their professional training allowing recognition of untenable tactical situations while mounting environmental threats force immediate withdrawal, creating crucial advantages for David's team during critical extraction phases. Mark's technical expertise continues providing decisive advantage as secondary charges trigger precisely timed destruction of pursuit route. His mechanical understanding allowing calculated effects while his prison-learned creativity ensures effective disruption of potential interception attempts. Ellen's tactical discipline remains absolute as she maintains security around Maria during final extraction phases, her maternal focus perfectly controlled through professional training, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to rapidly changing conditions. David coordinates comprehensive withdrawal as the compound experiences terminal structural failure, his SEAL training allowing precise tactical movement while maintaining unity, cohesion, creating perfect execution of pre-planned procedures despite chaotic environmental conditions. The entire facility transforms into an expanding zone of destruction as Mark's demolition strategy achieves complete effectiveness, his technical knowledge allowing systematic targeting while creating overwhelming pressure that prevents organized pursuit attempt. Ellen guides Maria through final extraction phases with practiced efficiency as tactical situation deteriorates rapidly, her professional training allowing precise movement, while her maternal focus ensures comprehensive protection during critical withdrawal procedures. David maintains perfect unit coordination as his team achieves successful extraction from the collapsing facility, his special operations experience allowing precise tactical adjustments while ensuring comprehensive security during final withdrawal phases. The compound's catastrophic destruction creates effective pursuit denial as David's team executes practiced escape routes, their extensive preparation allowing smooth tactical movement while maintaining unit integrity despite chaotic environmental conditions. Mark's technical expertise provides crucial advantage during final withdrawal as precisely timed charges deny potential pursuit routes, his mechanical understanding allowing calculated effects while his prison-learned creativity ensures effective disruption of organized interception attempt. Ellen maintains comprehensive security around Maria as the team achieves tactical withdrawal from the engagement area, her professional training allowing precise movement while her maternal focus ensures absolute protection during critical extraction phases. David coordinates perfect unit cohesion as his team breaks contact with the collapsing facility. His SEAL training allowing precise tactical adjustments while maintaining comprehensive security during final withdrawal procedures. The entire operation achieves decisive success as David's team executes complete tactical withdrawal, their extensive preparation allowing perfect execution while creating comprehensive strategic victory through precise application of superior capabilities. Miguel's unconscious form disappears beneath expanding destruction as his compound experiences. Terminal collapse, his professional military background proving inadequate, while superior planning achieves decisive results through calculated application of tactical expertise. The cartel's regional infrastructure suffers catastrophic compromise as precisely targeted destruction achieves comprehensive effects, Mark's technical knowledge allowing systematic damage while creating cascading failure that prevents effective organizational recovery. David maintains tactical awareness during final withdrawal phases as his team achieves clean break contact, his special operations experience allowing precise movement while ensuring absolute security during critical extraction procedures. Ellen's professional discipline remains perfect as she secures Maria during tactical withdrawal. Her maternal focus channeled through extensive training, while her natural adaptability allows smooth adjustment to developing situations. Mark's technical expertise continues providing crucial advantage as final demolition charges deny pursuit. Options, his mechanical understanding allowing calculated effects, while his prison-learned creativity ensures effective disruption of potential interception attempts. The entire tactical situation resolves decisively as David's team achieves complete withdrawal from the engagement area, their extensive preparation allowing perfect execution while creating comprehensive strategic victory through superior planning and capabilities. Miguel's cartel empire experiences systematic collapse as key infrastructure suffers catastrophic compromise, their professional military capabilities proving inadequate, while superior tactical expertise achieves decisive results through calculated application of special operations principles. David coordinates final tactical movement as his team breaks contact completely, his SEAL training allowing precise adjustments while maintaining comprehensive security during critical extraction phases into prepared evacuation route. The operation achieves absolute success as David's team executes perfect tactical withdrawal, their extensive preparation allowing comprehensive victory while creating decisive strategic effects through superior planning and capabilities. Morning sunlight streams through the repaired windows of desert grounds as David surveys the renovation. Progress, watching contractors install bulletproof glass while local volunteers help Mark repair the vintage espresso machines that survived the cartel's initial assault through some miracle of Italian engineering and Desert Mark's mechanical ingenuity. Ellen works the register with Maria safely by her side, their morning routine transformed into something precious after coming so close to losing everything, while regular customers mix with newcomers, drawn by the story of how a simple coffee shop became ground zero for one community's stand. Against cartel expansion, David moves through his morning ritual with practiced precision, each motion still carrying the efficiency of his SEAL training, but now softened by genuine peace as he crafts perfect espresso shots for the growing crowd of morning regulars who've turned their daily coffee run into a show of community support. Mark emerges from beneath a partially dismantled La Marzocco, grease-stained but triumphant as ancient gears begin turning smoothly again, his time in prison having taught him that sometimes the things most worth saving are the ones that others would simply throw away and replace. The town's response has transformed what could have been a tragedy into something approaching redemption as neighbors volunteer their skills, contractors donating materials, retired veterans providing security advice, local artists covering old bullet holes with desert murals that make the scars part of the story instead of something to hide. David David watches his community rebuild with quiet satisfaction, knowing that his decision to stand against the cartel has inspired others to reclaim their own sense of agency, transforming a simple coffee shop into a symbol of resistance against forces that once seemed unstoppable through nothing more than determined refusal to back down. Evening light paints the desert gold as David begins his closing routine, each motion now carrying the weight of newfound purpose as he realizes that sometimes the most important battles aren't fought in far-off war zones, but in small businesses and community gathering places where ordinary people choose to draw their own lines in the sand. David's hand pauses on the freshly repaired front door, fingers brushing the smooth metal of the open-closed sign as he reflects on the strange turns life takes, how 15 years of trying to leave violence behind ultimately led him to find something worth fighting for in a small desert town. Coffee shop. With practiced precision, David flips the sign to open as first light breaks over the horizon, ready to begin another day serving his community, knowing that while the warrior may never truly rest, he's finally found the peace that comes with protecting something larger than himself.